टीचिंग के तरीकों से हमको क्यों पढ़ाते हैं, इट्स सो बोरिंग। अब वेदांतु देगा प्रॉब्लम से छुटकारा।
Hi kids.
समझ
Hello teacher.
आएगा तो मजा आएगा, मजा आएगा तो समझ आएगा। बेस्ट टीचर्स पढ़ाए तो सिंपल लगे एवरीथिंग। लीडरबोर्ड्स एंड क्विज़ेस से
Amazing.
learning हो जाए happening। समझ आएगा तो मजा आएगा, मजा आएगा तो
Vedantu, learn live online. To attend a free live class, download the app now.
Oh, you guys are back. Well, I was just demonstrating today's topic to the cameraman. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm sure that you guys had fun in the previous session of chemistry, and I can see that all of you are here. And yes. Well, once again, very good evening, all of you guys. और वापस से आ गए हम लोग आज with another exciting and interesting session of JEE Sprint at Vedantu. And yes, as you can see it on the screen behind my back, the name of today's topic is one of the most interesting topic and fascinating one, called as the simple harmonic motion. Okay guys, तो अगर आपके फ्रेंड्स अभी भी ऑनलाइन नहीं हैं तो उन्हें बता दो दैट SHM की क्लास स्टार्ट हो रही है. ओके गाइस, सो विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी फर्दर टाइम, लेट्स गो अहेड एंड लेट्स लुक एट सिंपल हार्मोनिक मोशन. आर यू ऑल रेडी फॉर दैट गाइस? स्टार्ट करें? यस, गुड इवनिंग गाइस, स्टार्ट कर दें? यस ऋषि, यस, स्टार्टिंग अप. यो, तो स्टार्ट करते हैं. वेल गाइस, स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं पहले क्वेश्चन से. और आज यू विल विटनेस मेनी जेई क्वेश्चंस इन टुडेज सेशन. तो स्टार्ट कर रहा हूं जेई 2001 के क्वेश्चन के साथ में, और क्वेश्चन को रीड कर सकते हो स्क्रीन के ऊपर. द क्वेश्चन सेज दैट देयर इज अ पार्टिकल executing simple harmonic motion and its amplitude is given as A. It is oscillating between -A to +A. तो ऐसा एक oscillation हो रहा है. Okay guys, somewhere here in the middle is the mean position, and question wants us to find out that if the time taken by this particle which is oscillating to go from mean position 0 to A/2 is t1, then what is the time taken by the same particle to further cover the A/2 remaining distance and go to the position A. Okay, इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करना है तो पहले मैं आपको मेथड बताता हूं जो यूजुअली दिमाग में आता है. ओके, फर्स्ट थिंग दैट शुड कम इन योर माइंड इज द इक्वेशन ऑफ SHM, दैट इज A sin ओमेगा t. यहां पे एक स्कीमेटिक ड्रॉ कर देता हूं. दिस पोजीशन इज 0, दिस इज +A, दिस इज -A, एंड समवेयर हियर इज योर A/2 पोजीशन. एक काम करते हैं, इसे O बोल देते हैं, इसको P और इसे Q बोल देते हैं, क्योंकि पूरा का पूरा गेम इस क्वेश्चन में इन दोनों पोजीशंस पे ही डिपेंड कर रहा है. ओके गाइस, तो क्वेश्चन ने बोला कि O to A/2 जाने के लिए टाइम t1 लगता है. तो अगर हम A/2 से A लेकर जा रहे हैं और टाइम t2 लगता है, तो हमें कंपेयर करना है दोनों टाइम पीरियड्स को. ओके गाइस, इनफैक्ट नॉट टाइम पीरियड्स बट द टाइम दैट इज टेकन बिटवीन देम. यूजुअली द अप्रोच सेज कि क्या करोगे, सबसे पहले पोजीशन x की जगह पे A/2 पुट करोगे, सिंप्लीफाई करोगे, ओमेगा टी का वैल्यू निकालोगे और उससे t1 का वैल्यू आ जाएगा. यस और नो? तो जब तुम वो सॉल्व करोगे तो दैट वैल्यू विल इवेंचुअली कम आउट टू बी t/12. नॉट सॉल्विंग इट. व्हाई एम आई नॉट सॉल्विंग इट? इज बिकॉज इट इज वेरी इजी. यहां से A साइन ओमेगा टी करो, A को कैंसिल करो, हाफ बचेगा, और साइन का वैल्यू हाफ आता है 30 डिग्री के लिए. अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल बी एबल टू सॉल्व. उसके बाद क्या करोगे, सेम इक्वेशन में व्हाट यू विल बी डूइंग, यू विल बी पुटिंग द वैल्यू नॉट एज, यहां पे A/2 नहीं पुट करोगे, यहां डायरेक्टली A पुट कर दोगे, बिकॉज देन यू आर सेइंग कि O से Q जाने में कितना टाइम लगता है. तो O to P हमने फाइंड आउट कर लिया था, t/12 आने वाला है. और जब यहां पे पुट करोगे, yes guys, so when you will be putting that value, this time A will cancel with A, it will be 1, sin का value comes out to be 1 when the angle is pi/2. You will simplify to get the value of t2 as t/4. Yes or no? and then you will subtract the time taken to go from O to Q with time taken to go from O to P. You will find out कि time taken to go from P to Q comes out to be T by 6. Means what? You will get T1 as T by 12 and you will take T2, you will find that out, it will come out to be T by 6 and you will comment that the answer is option A. My whole idea of this question is not to tell you what the correct answer is, because many of you would have got the answer, guessed the answer already. Yes or no? But why have I taken this question is because I want to tell you how to have a method in order to solve any question which involves the time period in any SHM. Do you guys want to know that method? वो method समझना है? I will not call it a short trick. Do you guys want to know that method? जहाँ पे time period related कोई भी question होगा तो हम उसे चुटकियों में solve करेंगे. Are you guys ready for that? Share करूँ? If yes, then just write down yes or yo in the chat box. Flood the chat box today, guys. I'm super enthusiastic today, super excited today with all of you guys. As you can see, it's Saturday and it's a weekend and I'm here with you guys because I like being with you guys every other day here. Awesome, guys. So now pay attention to this. अब जो मैं बताने जा रहा हूं उसे इतना ध्यान से सुनना कि इसके बाद में कोई भी पोजीशन से कहीं पे भी लेकर के जाओ ऑब्जेक्ट को, यू विल बी एबल टू गेट द आंसर ऑन द फिंगर टिप्स. यू डोंट हैव टू लिफ्ट द पेन एट ऑल. ओके गाइस, तो उसके लिए मैं क्या करता हूं, वापस से स्कीमेटिक ऑफ एसएचएम को ड्रॉ कर रहा हूं. दिस इज पोजीशन O, दिस इज प्लस A, दिस इज माइनस A, यहां पे कहीं पे A/2 और इनफैक्ट माइनस A/2 एंड दिस इज A/2. एंड फॉर आर कन्वीनियंस इसको O बोल देते हैं, इसे P बोल देते हैं, इसे Q और इसे बोल देते हैं M और इसे N बोल देते हैं. ओके गाइस, सबसे पहले जो सिंपल वाला पार्ट है जो सबको पता होगा ऑलरेडी, उसको फटाफट समझ लेते हैं. सबको ये पता है कि अगर N से Q जाना है और Q से वापस N आना है, वी कॉल दैट टाइम एज द टाइम पीरियड. दैट मीन्स कैपिटल T. तो वो तो सबको पता है. N to Q, Q to N, पूरा एक ऑसिलेशन कंप्लीट करने का जो टाइम है, दैट इज बेसिकली व्हाट, वन टाइम पीरियड. यस और नो? ओके, दैट मीन्स व्हाट, अगर हमें, इफ आई हैव टू गो फ्रॉम ओनली N to Q, सिर्फ यहां से यहां तक जाना है, तो यू नो दैट द टाइम विल बी व्हाट, T/2. यस और नो? इसके बाद में और डिस्टेंस को हाफ करता हूं, O to Q या Q to O, O to N or N to O. That means mean position to extreme or extreme to mean position. So I'm saying that this time is going to be half of that. That means T/4. I'm sure that all of you know this. Now pay attention. Very good. I can see that on the chat box that you guys know this much and I'm very happy with that. Okay. My question next is, which I want you guys to answer here on the chat box, how much time are you going to take when you are going, अब तक क्या हो रहा है, you are dividing the space equally. पहले पूरा डिस्टेंस यहां से यहां और यहां से वापस आने वाला T था, डिस्टेंस हाफ किया, P2Q गए, सॉरी N2Q गए, T/2 हुआ, डिस्टेंस और हाफ किया तो टाइम T/4 हुआ. माय क्वेश्चन इज, अगर हम मान लो O to P जा रहे हैं, O to P, do you think that the time should be T/8 now? What should be the time? Yes. Do you think that it is going to be T/8? What do you think it is? Yes, I can see that Devansh, Nikita, Malla, Ritesh, Rishi, Ajay, all of you are saying T/8. And that is where I want you guys to pay attention now. अब तक जो भी मोशन हम लोगों ने डिवाइड किया है, वहां पे जब भी हम लोग साइनोसॉइडल ग्राफ्स ड्रॉ करते हैं तो ग्राफ का एरिया इक्वली डिवाइड हो जाता है. बट व्हेन यू स्पीक अबाउट दिस फेज गाइस, the force which acts on the body which is oscillating does not act equally between O to P and then from P to Q. You should know that oscillations के दौरान बॉडी पे जो लगने वाला फोर्स है, जिसे हम F is equal to minus kx बोलते हैं, this is basically a variable force. As much as you will go farther from the mean position, the force will become stronger and stronger and stronger. मतलब जब बॉडी O से P जा रही थी तो फोर्स उतना स्ट्रांग नहीं था, बॉडी could easily move. But the moment body starts crossing P and towards Q it moves, the force starts becoming stronger than it was before, and now the body will feel more resistance towards the motion, so it's going to take more time. means what I'm trying to tell you, the time which will be taken between O to P and P to Q is not going to get equally divided. Remember this point. This is a very 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 important point that I'm telling you. So जो इक्वेशन से हम लोगों ने फाइंड आउट किया था, अभी मैंने बताया था, द इक्वेशन इज ए साइन ओमेगा टी, दिस इज बेसिकली एक्स. तो द मेथड इज एक्चुअली व्हाट वी वर डिस्कसिंग प्रीवियसली. x की जगह पे जब a बाई टू पुट करके तुम t का वैल्यू फाइंड आउट करोगे, यू विल गेट द वैल्यू ऑफ t to go from O to a by 2 will not come out to be t by 8 guys, rather it will come out to be how much? It will come out to be t by 12. The time will come out to be t by 12. Okay, अब P to Q जाने वाला जो टाइम है उसे हमें इक्वेशन से निकालने की जरूरत नहीं है. Why? Because I know that कि O to Q जो टाइम है वो कितना है, that is t by 4. O to P का टाइम कितना आ गया, t by 12. मतलब t by 4 में से t by 12 को माइनस कर दो, that much amount of time you will take from P to Q. That means when you will solve, this time will come out to be t by 6. I want all of you right away to do one thing. I want all of you to take a screenshot of what I have just now written on the board here, or you can say the screen here. Just take a screenshot guys. This is going to be the mantra, the method that you will be using. और मैं वापस आगे जाकर के पूछने वाला हूँ ये, because there will be another question जहाँ हम ये यूज करेंगे. और उस क्वेश्चन में फिजिकली देख करके नहीं समझेगा कि हमें यूज करना है, बट द मोमेंट यू विल गेट द फैक्ट कि ये करना है, you will solve the answer in next 5 seconds after that. Okay guys, so now if you have taken the screenshot, just giving you a recap of this thing. Time to go from one extreme to other extreme, t by 2. Time to go from mean to extreme or extreme to mean, half of that is t by 4. But when you divide this mean to extreme into half, the first half takes t by 12. Towards the extreme side it takes t by 6. यहाँ कम टाइम है, ये ज़्यादा टाइम है, और ये टाइम गाइस तुम्हें दिया हुआ है as t1 और ये वाला टाइम दिया हुआ है t2. So now you can see and say that t2 is greater than t1. समझ में आया guys? Are you guys getting this? How t by 12? वो मैं एक बार solve कर देता हूँ, that how we are getting this as t by 12. But so far, if you have not taken the screenshot here, just take a screenshot first. And because I'm going to rub this, just take a screenshot. Have you all taken this? Yeah? So going ahead. Now see guys, सिर्फ वो वाला part explain कर रहा हूँ कि t by 12 कैसे आता है. I'll need some space for that. So now see, I have the equation x is equal to a sin omega t. इसमें अगर x की जगह पे 0 पुट करते हो तो your body is here. The moment you put 0 here, t will come out to be 0. This is where your stopwatch starts. यहां से a by 2 पे लेके जा रहे हैं, तो अब जितना भी टाइम लगेगा that is the time to go from O to a by 2. तो अब क्या कर रहा है, body has reached a by 2. तो x की जगह पे you just put as a by 2. This is a sin omega t. So a gets cancelled, left side पे you have half, that means sin omega t is half. Okay, which means what? Angle, sine का angle for value coming out to be half should be 30 degree, or you will call it pi by 6. Okay, now what? Bring omega here, t comes out to be pi by 6 omega. Okay, I hope that you know that time period is 2 pi by omega. This formula always holds true in this chapter. तो अब मैं क्या करता हूँ, इसे 2 से मल्टीप्लाई कर देता हूँ और 2 से डिवाइड कर देता हूँ. So what do you see? This portion 2 pi by omega is capital T. बचा क्या डिनोमिनेटर में 2 into 6 which is 12. That means the time comes out to be t by 12 from O to a by 2. Understood guys how we got the value as t by 12 now? If you have understood this, then just say yes or yo in the chat box, because now this is one of the methods that we are going to apply another time in the same session. Okay, cool. Okay, chalo, so let's go. Well, for all of you who are here today, this is me, your Suri sir, and yes, as I said, this is a very enjoyable weekend with all of you guys. And if you guys are liking this session, if you guys are liking the channel already, then a very sincere appeal to all of you, LSS, like, share and subscribe. Try to tell this to your friends who are still not here so that they can take the advantage of this session. Okay guys? Well, just a quick recap कि अब तक तुमने क्या देखा है और आगे क्या होने वाला है. Just now you attended a very awesome session with Harsh sir on P block, and next session, which will be on Monday, will be by your very favorite Pahul sir. He'll be back with bang and he'll be talking about states of matter and an overall schedule of JEE Sprint at Vedantu. Okay, so if you guys are new here, if you haven't taken a screenshot of this, you can take a screenshot of this as well. This is how we are working, how we are going with all the easyGill topics at JEE Sprint. Okay, चलो तो और आगे जाते हैं. बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस हमें सॉल्व करने हैं. आज बहुत बड़ा कलेक्शन भी है और ज़्यादातर क्वेश्चन JEE के लेकर के आया हूँ. ओके गाइस, सो राइट अवे टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, JEE 2000. ओके, जब तक मैंने भी JEE नहीं दिया था. I gave JEE in 2005 by the way. So the period of oscillation of simple pendulum of length L suspended from the roof of a vehicle which is moving without friction down an inclined plane of angle alpha. तो एक कार imagine करो, just close your eyes, imagine a car, okay, and that car is coming down a hilly road. और उस कार में कोई एक सॉफ्ट टॉय हमने लटका के रखा हुआ है, उसके रियर व्यू मिरर जो बीच में होता है कार के अंदर, वहां पे एक सॉफ्ट टॉय को लटका के रखा है. एंड वंस द कार स्टार्ट्स टू कम डाउन, the question wants us to find out that the period of oscillation of that particular toy which is oscillating inside the car, what will be the period of oscillation of that. So usually जो simple pendulum होता है, I'm sure that you know the time period of that is given by 2 pi under root L by G. मैं बहुत बार बोल चुका हूँ कि वो particular formula जो है, we have seen that in first of the time in the chapter of units and dimensions. Okay, so basically the time period of a simple pendulum is given by 2 pi under root of L by G. Okay, but now what has happened, you have this vehicle which is coming down an inclined plane guys, and the simple pendulum which is there inside is going to get inclined in this way because the vehicle is coming down, and when the vehicle comes down on a free with frictionless inclined plane, anything which moves down an inclined plane has an acceleration of g sin theta. Okay, तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, मेरे ऑब्जर्वर को अंदर लेके चला जाता हूँ. Means what? I'm going to talk about the situation in non-inertial frame of reference. Newton's laws of motion में भी मैंने बताया था. When you are inside the moving thing which is accelerating, the frame of reference is called non-inertial frame of reference, और ऐसे में हम pseudo force की बात कर रहे होते हैं. Okay guys, so now what? इस ऑब्जेक्ट के ऊपर जो वेट लग रहा है उसके दो कंपोनेंट्स हैं. द कंपोनेंट ऑफ वेट विच इज देयर along the direction of motion is g sin theta, or you can say that it is mg sin theta. Just a minute guys. Yeah, so this component is mg sin theta and the other component is mg cos theta, and because the angle is given as alpha, so let me take it as alpha. So mg cos alpha is the other component. Weight is somewhere here. Okay, तो उसके दो components हो गए, एक parallel to the inclined plane, एक perpendicular to the inclined plane. और जो string है उसमें obviously force of tension है. But as I said, the observer is inside the frame of reference. Then what will happen? This body will experience a pseudo force which is mass into acceleration of this thing. Let's call it acceleration of vehicle AV. And in this case, this force is going to be equal to mg sin alpha. That means this component and this component will get cancelled. Means what? The effective component of the weight which will be acting on the bob, which will be resulting the body's oscillation, or you can say that जो फॉर्मूला हमें पता है टाइम पीरियड का 2 पाई अंडर रूट एल बाई जी, जब इसमें g का वैल्यू हम चेंज करते हैं तो वी स्टार्ट राइटिंग इट एज g इफेक्टिव. सो नाउ नॉट द एंटायर वेट ऑफ द बॉडी इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर इट्स ऑसिलेशन, रादर अ कंपोनेंट ऑफ द वेट विच इज mg cos alpha is, so sorry guys, I just read that the question has gone backward. Okay, so this is what is happening. Please pay attention. What exactly am I trying to explain it to you? This is basically the car or the vehicle on which the pendulum is hanging, and the pendulum is basically going to oscillate not because of the entire weight of the body. Pay attention on the diagram that I am drawing, okay? And it has two components. This component is getting balanced by the pseudo force, and the other component is not getting balanced by any of the forces. So this is that force which is basically going to create the oscillations or will result in G effective. So if you look at this, now the G effective becomes how much? G cos alpha. So we'll just put that value here. Time period becomes 2 pi under root of L by G cos alpha. Okay guys, whenever you are dealing with systems which are oscillating, yes, I can see that many of you have got the answer, that is option A. Whenever you are dealing with an accelerating system, I'll come back to similar type of question again in the session where we'll see that how the G is changing when the system starts accelerating wherever the pendulum is. So you don't work with the same formula 2 pi under root L by G, rather you start working with the new effective acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so in that case, now the G value has changed to G cos alpha. Okay guys, yes Asta, you understood? Okay, fine. So moving on to the next question now. Now this one is a very simple one. As you can see that in this question, we are talking about a spring which is having its spring constant as K, and it's being cut into two pieces. Okay, but it's not equally cut. It's cut in such a way that one of the portion is double the portion which is left one. Or you can say, if you have a spring, we are not cutting this spring by equal amount, rather we are cutting it in such a way that this portion is going to be L by 3 length and the remaining one is going to be 2L by 3 length. Okay, question wants us to find out what will be the spring constant of this particular part now. As you should know that if you change the length of a spring, its spring constant start changing. What is spring constant? Spring constant tells you the strength of a spring. The more you cut a spring, the difficulty level to elongate and compress the spring also increases, its strength increases basically. Okay, तो इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करने के लिए एक बहुत अच्छा और बहुत सिंपल सा मेथड बताता हूं. उससे पहले जो तुम्हें पता होना चाहिए कि अगर स्प्रिंग्स पैरेलल में कनेक्टेड हैं, दो स्प्रिंग्स, तो उनके स्प्रिंग कांस्टेंट डायरेक्टली ऐड हो जाते हैं. लेकिन अगर स्प्रिंग्स सीरीज में कनेक्टेड हैं तो 1 by K1 and 1 by K2 को ऐड करते हो. दैट मीन्स रेसिप्रोकल्स आर एडेड देयर. ओके, अगर स्प्रिंग कांस्टेंट्स इक्वल हो जाएंगे तो यू विल बेसिकली से दैट इट इज गोइंग टू बिकम K/2 and K/2. Okay, so in fact the spring constants will be directly K/2 in short. Okay, so now guys see this. मैं क्या करता हूं, स्प्रिंग को दो नहीं 3 इक्वल पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर देता हूं. पे अटेंशन टू दिस. आई एम डिवाइडिंग द एंटायर स्प्रिंग इनटू 3 इक्वल पार्ट्स. इसका लेंथ L/3, इसका लेंथ भी L/3 और इसका लेंथ भी L/3. As you should know that the spring constant of a spring is inversely proportional to its length, जो मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले बताया. तो इसका जो स्प्रिंग कांस्टेंट हो जाएगा, अगर ये L/3 हुआ और पहले स्प्रिंग का कांस्टेंट K था तो अब 3K हो जाएगा. जस्ट इनवर्स ऑफ दैट. तो इसका भी 3K हो जाएगा और इसका भी 3K हो जाएगा गाइस. और अब क्या करना है, क्योंकि मुझे 2L/3 लेंथ के साथ काम करना है, so what am I going to do? I'm going to basically talk about these two portions and I'll say that they are basically connected in series. तो दोनों को series में connect कर देते हैं. So what K will be whenever the portions are equal, इस formula से the spring constant for series is going to be what? Is going to be K1 plus K2 by 2. Or simply you can put the value directly there also. चलो वहीं से solve कर देते हैं उसे. That means 1 upon K will be equal to 1 upon 3K plus 1 upon 3K, which means 1 upon Ks will be equal to 2 by 3K. उसे properly लिखोगे, so that value will be what? 3K by 2. That means your answer is going to be option B. Okay? Yes. So I can see that some of you initially guessed it to be option A, but the correct answer is going to be option B, that is 3k by 2. Yeah, very nice guys. I can see that all of you are participating here, and it feels good that you guys are participating and being alive in this session, trying to solve each and every question by yourself as well. Yeah, okay, so let's go ahead again. Next question देखते हैं. Okay, so this one I want you guys to try. Question में read कर देता हूँ. We have an ideal spring. उसका spring constant हमें दिया हुआ है. It is hung from a ceiling and a block of mass m is attached to the lower end of the spring. तो एक spring है, उसके साथ एक block connected है. K is the spring constant, m is the block mass, and when you release the mass, we have to find out that what is going to be the maximum extension in the spring whenever you are going to release the mass, when and how much is going to be the amount of maximum extension in the spring, guys. So you have 15 seconds for it and your time starts now. I'm waiting for it. Options are there. Question is already on the board. Yes, Harisharan Gupta. आपका नाम लिया मैंने. Feeling famous already? Now try to solve the question. Come on guys, last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Well, I can see that most of you have answered the question as option C. And this is why I wanted you guys to try this question. Reason being, whenever we think about a spring connected to a block and released, usually the diagram which we find in a book tells us that the block is going to come to that position where it rests when we say that the downward force mg is being balanced by the spring force, say that is kx, with x being the elongation in the spring, which is this. Am I right or not? This is what we usually think of. Yes. And then we say that अगर इस ब्लॉक को स्टेशनरी रहना है, इक्विलिब्रियम पे रहना है, so kx should be equal to mg because upward force should be balancing what? The downward force. Yeah? तो यहां से x का वैल्यू हमें क्या मिल जाता है? mg by k, and we very happily see that in the option and mark it. But unfortunately in JEE 2002 जितने भी लोगों ने mg by k option C को मार्क किया था, they did not get +4, rather they had a -1. Why? क्वेश्चन की लैंग्वेज को बहुत ध्यान से पढ़ना होता है. More than the difficulty level of the question, it's basically read between the line which you have to understand. Just read the second line of the question, जहां से the mass is released with the spring initially unstretched, and then we have to find out the maximum extension in the spring. जरा सोचो, अगर ये स्प्रिंग नेचुरल लेंथ पे और मैंने नीचे ब्लॉक के हाथ रखा हुआ है, I have kept my hand below this block. जब तक मैं ऐसे रखूंगा तब तक स्प्रिंग अपने नेचुरल लेंथ पे रहने वाली है. The moment I will release my hand, what do you think will happen? Will the block move slowly? Or will it start moving very fast and then it will eventually come to rest? Yes or no? So the moment you release this block, it will come down, it will speed up, it will start slowing down, and it will stop somewhere here. It will stop somewhere here. From here, it will stop somewhere here. But we don't want that the block has to be in equilibrium. The question wants us to find out the maximum extension. तो हमें यहाँ तक का extension पता लगाना है guys. But do you think that once the block stops for the first time, it's not going to stop there? It's going to come back and it starts oscillating like this. I hope you are able to visualize this. When the block is released, it moves fast, slows down, stops here, then again comes up, then again goes down, oscillates. तो तुमने अभी जो पोजीशन के लिए आंसर निकाला mg by k, वो इन दोनों पोजीशंस के बीच वाली पोजीशन है जहां पे बॉडी पे लगने वाला नेट फोर्स 0 होता है और वो इक्विलिब्रियम पोजीशन है, मीन पोजीशन है. बट मीन पोजीशन पे मैक्सिमम एक्सटेंशन नहीं है दोस्तों. मैक्सिमम एक्सटेंशन तब है जब तुम उसकी मीन पोजीशन से उसे नीचे वाले पोजीशन पे देख रहे हो, मीन्स समवेयर हियर. ओके, दैट मीन्स व्हाट? लेट मी रब दिस इज नॉट आवर आंसर. We are not talking about the equilibrium position. We are rather talking about the other extreme position when the block will stop. And always remember, block stops at the extreme positions in a spring mass system. It does not stop at the mean position. And mean position वो होती है जहाँ पे बॉडी पे लगने वाला net force जीरो हो जाता है, मतलब Fx equal to mg हो जाता है. तो that is not what the question wanted us to find out. Okay guys, that means what? The block is going to stop, say somewhere here. And yeah, so it is visible. I say that this is position A, this is position B, and this particular amount of elongation is x. Okay, and I'm calling this particular line as h equal to 0. Now I'm going to solve this question not from Newton's laws of motion, जैसा मैंने मेरे थर्ड मॉड्यूल में बोला था, वर्क एनर्जी पावर इज अ वेरी 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 फंडामेंटल चैप्टर. उस चैप्टर के कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करेंगे और लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनर्जी के साथ काम करेंगे. So what we'll say that spring force as well as the weight, that means mg, both are conservative forces. They are not going to drain the energy of the system. So energy of block at A, energy of the system at A rather, will be equal to energy of system at B. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to write energy at A equal to energy at B. कौन कौन सी energies हो सकती हैं? Potential energy mgh, kinetic energy half mv square, and spring potential energy half kx square. Yeah, so at A, block was initially at rest, so इसकी kinetic energy हो गई 0. Spring was at natural length, तो spring की भी potential energy हो गई 0. But अगर ये h equal to 0 है तो यहां से कितनी हाइट पे ऑब्जेक्ट है? It is at a height of x. That means potential energy is mgx. This is gravitational potential energy. Yes, and then at B when I'm going to write guys, B पे देखते हैं. ब्लॉक जब B पे आएगा तो फाइनली रुकेगा, मतलब काइनेटिक एनर्जी फिर से 0. काइनेटिक एनर्जी समवेयर मिडल में मैक्सिमम हुई होगी जहां पे मीन पोजीशन है. ओके, और अगर हम उसकी स्प्रिंग पोटेंशियल एनर्जी की बात करें तो अब स्प्रिंग में कितना इलोंगेशन है? x. दैट मीन्स हाफ kx स्क्वायर. एंड बिकॉज द ब्लॉक हैज रीच्ड h equal to 0, so its potential energy, gravitational potential energy also becomes 0. Okay guys, that means what? You have half kx square on the left side, you have mgx on the, you have half kx square on the right side, mgx on the left side. That means what? You will simplify it for x, one x gets cancelled, so you have mg equal to kx by 2, and then when you simplify, x comes out to be 2mg by k. So remember, JEE is not going to test your calculation skills. It's going to test your understanding of the concepts. So if you are able to understand the concept right, if you are reading the question right, you'll be able to get the answer right. Okay guys, I hope that this question was doable and understandable. Okay. So somebody is asking me to give an explanation again. I'll give a quick explanation about this. Block once released will move, will cross its mean position because ऐसा oscillation होने वाला है. So यहाँ mean position है, वहाँ रुकेगा नहीं because mean position पे maximum velocity होती है. तो with velocity you don't stop. So with that velocity it will further come down and will stop somewhere here after an elongation of spring in x. तो मैंने एनर्जी एट ए को एनर्जी एट बी से इक्वेट किया क्योंकि बी पे रुकने के बाद ब्लॉक वापस ऊपर जाने वाला है. तो ऑल द एनर्जीज दैट आई हैव रिटन आर काइनेटिक एनर्जी हियर 0, स्प्रिंग पोटेंशियल एनर्जी 0, यहां के रिस्पेक्ट में ओवरऑल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी mgx which I have written here. Then at B what have I written? Block has again stopped, so kinetic energy 0. Spring has elongated, so half kx square amount of spring potential energy, but now it has come to h equal to 0 guys. That means overall potential energy, gravitational one, also becomes 0 on the right hand side. I hope now it is understandable to all of you that the answer is not mg by k. The answer is 2 mg by k, that is option B. Okay? Fine. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, now this one. ये बहुत सिंपल मैथमेटिकल क्वेश्चन है, JEE 1992 का क्वेश्चन है गाइस. यू कैन रीड इट ऑन द स्क्रीन itself that there is an equation of displacement during oscillation or SHM for a particle given as 4 cos square t by 2 into sine 1000 t. Okay, the expression can be considered to be the result of superposition of dash many number of independent harmonic motions. मतलब कितने SHM equations को मिला के हमें ये वाला equation मिलेगा, overlapping of SHMs कितने हो रहे होंगे, how many number of oscillations are there is basically we have to find out. Okay guys, तो बहुत क्विकली इसे मैथमेटिकली सॉल्व कर देते हैं. सो यू कैन सी दैट इट इज 4 cos square t by 2 sin 1000 t. तो जहां भी cos square दिखे वहां पे हमेशा cos 2a का फॉर्मूला यूज कर लेंगे. सो cos t इज गोइंग टू बी व्हाट, इट्स गोइंग टू बी 2 cos square t by 2 minus 1. ओके, तो यहां से 2 cos square t becomes 1 plus cos t. तो इसी इक्वेशन को डायरेक्टली लिख रहा हूं. 2, this 1 comes to the left hand side, that means it is 1 plus cos t. So this is 1 plus cos t and one of the 2 has been utilized there, that's why 4 का 2 हो चुका है. Okay, and now what, जो साथ में लिखा हुआ है that is what, sin 1000 t. Quickly multiply करता हूं. I have 2 sin 1000 t plus 2 sin 1000 t into cos t. Now you can see that it is 2 sin A cos B, and if you talk about 2 sin A cos B, this is nothing but the result of sin A plus B plus sin A minus B. ये हम सबने मैथमेटिक्स में एडवांस ट्रिग्नोमेट्रिक फंक्शंस जब सीखे थे तो वहां पे ये वन ऑफ द फ्यू फॉर्मूलाज, वन ऑफ द वेरी फर्स्ट फॉर्मूलाज इज समथिंग दैट वी ऑलरेडी हैव कम अक्रॉस. तो यहां पे sin A इज sin 1000 t and sin cos t इज बेसिकली व्हाट इज योर cos B. ओके, तो इसी चीज को आगे सिंप्लीफाई करते हैं, ओनली दिस मच पार्ट. वैसे तो आंसर यहीं से क्लिक हो रहा है कि जब इसको मैं इस फॉर्म में लिखने वाला हूं तो 2 फंक्शंस मिलने वाले हैं, 2 हार्मोनिक फंक्शन. सो 2 sin 1000 t प्लस इन दोनों एंगल्स का एडिशन, तो sin 1000 प्लस t is 1001 t plus this minus this angle, that means sin 999 t. Value does not matter guys. What you have to see, you have one harmonic function, second harmonic function and the third harmonic function. So there are 3 harmonic functions which are overlapping. Yes, as you all have started answering, the answer is going to be 3 SHMs. And have a look, came in JEE 1992. Yeah, I'm sure that perception agar ye hai ki JEE is a difficult exam and SHM is a difficult topic, it's not. Yeah, moving on. Now the next question guys, read it on the screen. So what does the question say? Question says that you have 3 simple harmonic motions in the same direction having same amplitude and same period also. So they have same frequency, same amplitude and they are moving along say x-axis. Okay, so they are superimposed and we have been given that all of them are differing by a phase of 45 degree. So which of the option is going to be correct? ऐसे क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करने का एक तरीका तो जैसा अभी हम लोगों ने इक्वेशन सॉल्व किया था इससे पहले वाले क्वेश्चन में वैसा है. दूसरा तरीका, कभी भी अगर हमें फेजर एंगल गिवन हो और एम्पलीट्यूड ऑफ ऑसिलेशंस गिवन हो गाइस, so in that case always go by the method of phasors. What are phasors? Phasors are basically the rotating vectors, and because they all have the same time period, that means they have the same angular velocity also. The phasor vectors means what? The moment you will go on the phasor diagram, what you will see that you have one of the vector say whose amplitude is A, assuming its own phase angle is 0 with x-axis. The second one is ahead by 45 degree. So this is also A, but it is making an angle of 45 degree. Now the third one is further ahead by 45 degree, that means will lie on y-axis. So this is also A. So you have three vectors of equal magnitude separated by an angle of 45 degree. Question wants you to find out which of these options are correct. तो पहला ही ऑप्शन बोलता है कि रिजल्टेंट एम्पलीट्यूड क्या होगा. इन तीनों का रिजल्टेंट फाइंड आउट करना है, मतलब अब सिर्फ वेक्टर का क्वेश्चन है. मीन्स व्हाट, अगर a और a पे ध्यान दें विच इज ऑन x एंड y, दे आर एट 90 डिग्री, तो उन दोनों का जो रिजल्टेंट होगा वो इस डायरेक्शन में मिलेगा और उसका वैल्यू होगा √2a. यस और नो? ऑलरेडी एक a उस डायरेक्शन में है, एक √2a ऐड हो गया. दैट मीन्स दिस इज गोइंग टू बी योर इफेक्टिव वैल्यू ऑफ द रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर. That means AR is going to be what? A plus √2a. A common लेके देखोगे, so you will have 1 plus √2 times A as the resultant. That means the correct answer to this question comes out to be the first one itself. Okay? Are you guys able to understand this part? I will answer all the questions. Aviroop, end में will take the question also. Today I'll take some questions, whichever questions that you guys have about the JEE Sprint classes also. Okay? Stay tuned. So far, pay attention to the questions that we are solving here. Okay? तो अभी पढ़ाई पे ध्यान दे रहे हैं. तो as of now, let's solve the question. At the end, we'll be coming towards some Q&A also about the JEE Sprint. Okay? Fine, guys. So this was JEE 1999 question. Now, दिस वन, मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले ही बताया था कि अगर एक सिंपल पेंडुलम है और उसे एक्सेलरेटेड सिस्टम में लेके जाते हैं तो टाइम पीरियड चेंज होता है. सो व्हाट डज दिस क्वेश्चन से? दैट अ सिंपल पेंडुलम हैज अ टाइम पीरियड ऑफ t1 एंड द पॉइंट ऑफ सस्पेंशन नाउ स्टार्ट्स टू मूव अपवर्ड अकॉर्डिंग टू द इक्वेशन दैट इज y इक्वल टू kt स्क्वायर एंड k का वैल्यू इज गिवन एज 1 meters per second square. सो वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट द न्यू टाइम पीरियड t2 and the ratio of t1 and t2. So guys, we have the value of t1 as 2 pi under root L by G. And now what is happening? Say this is that system in which your pendulum was hanging. So it has started accelerating upward. We need this acceleration. So far there was only G downward, but now it has started going up with an acceleration A. So in that case, once your object starts to go up with an acceleration A, then the pseudo force acts downward as ma. So effective G value becomes G plus A. Okay, that means जो हमारा नया फॉर्मूला होने वाला है उसमें G की जगह पे G plus A आएगा for T2. But before that I need the value of this acceleration, and for that I'm going to need this equation. तो इस इक्वेशन को दो बार डिफरेंशिएट करना पड़ेगा. तो जब पहली बार डिफरेंशिएट करोगे तो यू विल गेट 2kt, एंड जब सेकेंड टाइम डिफरेंशिएट करोगे दैट इज द टाइम व्हेन यू विल गेट एक्सेलरेशन एज 2k. एंड व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ k? इट्स 1. दैट मीन्स एक्सेलरेशन कम्स आउट टू बी 2 into 1, दैट इज 2 meters per second square. Okay, and g value, if it is not mentioned, will be taking it as 10. Okay, that means what? Now for t2 I will be writing it as 2 pi under root of L by G plus A, the new effective acceleration due to gravity. Question wants us to find out the value of t1 square by t2 square. So I have t1 by t2 as the inverse proportionality in under root. So under root of G plus A by G. Okay, that means if I put the values 10 plus 2 by 10, simplify करोगे, so this value will be 6 by 5. Under root of 12 by 10 becomes 6 by 5, और इसी को स्क्वायर कर दोगे, so t1 square by t2 square comes out to be 6 by 5. And that's our answer, option C. Okay? Yeah, I can see that many of you are able to solve this question. Very nice. This is 2005, the year when I appeared for JEE. So this was the question which was there in the paper when I solved it. Okay. Okay guys, moving on to the next question. Okay, time आ गया जब मैंने स्टार्टिंग में एक मेथड बताया था, एक शॉर्ट ट्रिक बताई थी और बोला था कि एक और क्वेश्चन आएगा जहां पे हमें उसे यूज करना है. आई होप दैट यू गाइज वर देयर. सो इफ यू गाइज रिमेंबर, लेट्स सी द क्वेश्चन एंड लेट्स ट्राई टू आंसर इट विद इन 5 seconds. क्वेश्चन में ये बताया हुआ है, मैं सीधा डायग्राम से एक्सप्लेन करता हूं. दैट यू हैव अ स्प्रिंग, you have a block, frictionless surface, and the block is being pushed. Right now it is in the mean position, or you can say the situation where the spring is not elongated, not compressed at the natural length. So what you do from here, you compress the spring by an amount 2x naught. Means what? अब SHM का जो amplitude है वो 2x naught होना चाहिए. And then what you do, after compressing the spring by making the block move by 2x naught, you release it from there. So because of the compression, now the spring will push by a spring force and the block will start going forward. This time when it will cross the mean position, it will have some velocity, so it will not stop and it will go forward. Question wants us to find out that if it is going forward and hitting that wall on the right hand side after traveling a distance, how much? X naught. So total time to go from this position, the total time to go from this position, let's call it P, to this wall that is Q, वो time हमें पता लगाना है. Okay? Can you guys answer this in 10 seconds? And your time starts in 3, 2, 1. Tell me the answer. If you can't just tell me the option, just tell me how much time it is going to be in terms of time period T. Either tell me the option or tell me the time in the terms of capital T. Come on, guys. Okay, so the time ends in 3, 2, 1. That's it. I can see that many of you have answered this as option C, and I'm very happy. Mogambo सच में खुश हुआ, because this is the question that we are able to answer in less than 10 seconds, and that is what this question deserves, not more than 10 seconds. So let's quickly see this. This is O, this is plus A, this is A by 2, and this is minus A. Okay, guys. So what is given to us? This is given as 2x naught and this is given to us as x naught. But doesn't matter. This is the other extreme and this is half of that distance between mean to extreme position. मैंने बताया था कि ये जो गैप है इसको कवर करने का टाइम है t/4 और ये जो गैप है मैंने बताया था t/8 नहीं होगा. I solved it. I told you guys that the answer is t/12. So the total time to go from minus A, which is position P, to the position that is A by 2, which is position Q, is t/4 plus t/12. जब इन दोनों टाइम को ऐड कर दोगे तो you will get as t/3 and that is the answer to this question. अब क्या करना है? You just have to put the value of t or the formula of t. So what is that time? Time is t/3, which is 2 pi under root L by G, the time period, divided by 3. So that's our answer. So this is how that method works. Now you can call it a short trick, you can call it a method, but this is how it is going to help you every time whenever you are going to see a question like this. Okay? I hope you guys understood this. Okay, so moving on to the next question. And now again इस question को भी बहुत जल्दी से हम लोग solve कर देंगे. Question में हमें एक arrangement दिया हुआ है guys. That arrangement has 3 blocks connected in this way. The spring constant has not been given. What is told to us that initially when this system is there, it oscillates with some time period. Usually the time period of a spring mass system is given by the formula 2 pi under root m by k, whatever is the total mass hanging. Okay, so in this case, question says that if I remove 700 grams ka mass from here, then the time period, let's call it t1, becomes 3 seconds and the remaining mass is 500 plus 400, that is 900 grams. That means what? 2 pi under root of 400 plus 500, total mass कितना हो जाएगा? 900 by the spring constant. After that, question says that remove this 500 also, and obviously yes, the remaining part is connected to the spring. So when you remove that, now the time period becomes t2 and that is what the question wants us to find out. So we don't know that time and that will be 2 pi under root of remaining mass, that is 400 divided by k. So what do you have now? You have the two equations, you just have to solve it. So t2 by t1, you can see that t2 is directly proportional to under root 400, t1 is directly proportional to 900. So T1 already known to us, writing it as 3. T2 proportional to root 400, that means 20. And this is proportional to under root 900, that is 30. 0 gets cancelled, 3 gets cancelled. T2 value comes out to be 2 seconds, guys. Great, great. I can see that Dishu, Anupam, Hemant, Astha, Rahul, Ritesh, everybody is able to get the answer and I'm very happy with that. Okay? चलो तो आगे जाते हैं और अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन को आंसर करते हैं. Okay guys, now pay attention to this one. This is a very 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 interesting question for all of us to solve. Okay? Look at the question, guys. Question says that there are two pendulums with length 100 centimeter and 121 centimeters and they are suspended side by side. मतलब एक को अगर यहाँ पे hang किया है, just a minute. So if I have made one of the pendulum to be hanging like this, the other one is hanging side by side but has a value of length more. So this is 100 centimeters, this is 121 centimeters. And the question says that if the bobs are pulled together and then released, तो अगर दोनों को ही मैं इस एक्सट्रीम पे लेके जाता हूं और रिलीज कर देता हूं, तो क्वेश्चन wants us to find out that when they start oscillating, say they started oscillating from their respective extreme positions on the right side, let's call it P and Q. So question wants us to find out that after how many minimum oscillations of the longer pendulum will they be again in the phase? Will they be again in the phase का मतलब अभी तुम देख रहे हो दोनों अपने एक्सट्रीम पोजीशंस पे हैं, ये दोबारा एक साथ अपनी इसी एक्सट्रीम पोजीशन यानी P और Q पे जब आएंगे तो कितने मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ ऑसिलेशंस इस वाले पेंडुलम ने कर लिए होंगे. ओके, सो बेसिकली व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, जब ये वाला पेंडुलम ऑसिलेट करता है तो एक ऑसिलेशन करता है, से इट टेक्स 10 सेकेंड्स. व्हाई? बिकॉज द टाइम पीरियड इज 2 पाई अंडर रूट एल बाय जी. मतलब एक के लिए फॉर्मूला बन रहा है 2 पाई अंडर रूट ऑफ 100 बाई जी और दूसरे वाले के लिए फॉर्मूला बनता है 2 पाई अंडर रूट ऑफ 121 बाई जी. सो दिस इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू 10, दिस इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू 11. तो मैं मान लेता हूं कि बचा हुआ फैक्टर दोनों में सेम है, उसका वैल्यू 1 ले लेते हैं. सो नाउ T1 इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू 10, T2 इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू 11. नाउ पे अटेंशन गाइस, बहुत ध्यान से सुनना. अगर इसके ऑसिलेशंस होंगे, मान लो इसने पहला ऑसिलेशन किया और वो यहां पे आ गया, उसने कितना टाइम लिया? 10 सेकेंड्स. जबकि राइट हैंड साइड वाला जो पेंडुलम है उसका टाइम पीरियड कितना है? 11 सेकेंड्स. सो बाय द टाइम 10 सेकेंड्स वुड बी elapsed, ये वाला पेंडुलम अभी तक यहीं पहुंचा होगा रिटर्न आते समय, विल नॉट बी एट Q. व्हाट डू वी वांट? वी वांट कि जब ये P पे आ रहा है उसे Q पे आना चाहिए. ऐसा कब होने वाला है? आफ्टर हाउ मेनी ऑसिलेशंस ऐसा होने वाला है? तो इसके ऑसिलेशंस जब होते रहेंगे तो हर बार जब वो पोजीशन P पे आएगा तो एवरी टाइम व्हेन यू विल ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट द टाइम दैट इट विल elapse विल बी 10, देन 20, देन 30 एंड सो ऑन. और इसे कितना लगेगा? 11, 22, 33 एंड सो ऑन. आर यू गेटिंग थॉट? वो टाइम इंस्टेंट जो इन दोनों के इस पीरियड में, यानी अगर 10 का टेबल और 11 का टेबल लिख दूं तो इन दोनों के टेबल में जो वैल्यू कॉमन आने वाली है, आफ्टर दैट मच सेकेंड्स, आफ्टर दैट मेनी नंबर ऑफ सेकेंड्स, दे आर गोइंग टू बी ऑफ द सेम फेज. दैट मीन्स P और Q पे आए होंगे. एंड यू कैन सी दैट ऐसा तब होगा जब यहां भी 110 आएगा और यहां भी 110 आएगा, द LCM बिटवीन बोथ ऑफ देम. नाउ द थिंग इज 110 इज इक्वल टू 10 इंटू 11 एंड 110 इज ऑल्सो इक्वल टू 11 इंटू 10. मतलब ये जिसका टाइम पीरियड 10 सेकेंड्स है उसे 11 ऑसिलेशंस करने, और जिसका टाइम पीरियड 11 सेकेंड्स है उसे 10 ऑसिलेशंस करने हैं, और हमें 11 सेकेंड्स वाले के अकॉर्डिंग आंसर देना था. So that means how many number of oscillations it will require? It will require 10 number of oscillations. Right? Looks tricky, है भी tricky, पर एकदम thought process के साथ में जब जाते हैं तो ऐसे questions को हम बहुत easily answer कर सकते हैं guys. Okay? I have not mentioned this. This is a question which has come in, it has came in Delhi PMT. दिल्ली में जो प्री मेडिकल टेस्ट होता है पहले हुआ करता था, तो अब ये उस एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था. ओके गाइस, ओके, सो मूविंग ऑन to the next one. Now this time you can see that question says there is a simple pendulum of length L and mass of the bob is m and it is oscillating in a plane about a vertical line whose limits are -5 to +5. Basically एक pendulum है, उसके amplitudes की वैल्यू हमें दे के रखी हुई है. जो amplitude है वो phi है basically on both the sides. एक +5 और एक दूसरा -5 बोल देते हैं. ओके, तो एम्पलीट्यूड नेगेटिव नहीं होता, इट्स बेसिकली द एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट विच इज मैक्सिमम +5 एंड मिनिमम, और ऑन द अदर साइड द मैक्सिमम इज -5. सो क्वेश्चन सेज दैट फॉर अ रैंडम पोजीशन, से समवेयर हियर, फॉर अ रैंडम पोजीशन दिस व्हेन द एंगल becomes theta and theta is less than phi, तो I can see that if this is phi, this is only theta. इस पोजीशन पे अगर पेंडुलम में फोर्स ऑफ टेंशन T है और उसकी वेलोसिटी V है, सो व्हाट इज द करेक्ट रिलेशन एज पर द ऑप्शन, ये हमें पता लगाना है. ओके गाइस, एज यू नो दैट व्हेनेवर अ पेंडुलम मोशन इज हैपनिंग, व्हेनेवर द पेंडुलम मोशन इज हैपनिंग, द बॉब ऑफ द पेंडुलम गाइस, when it is oscillating, it is just like a vertical circular motion also. Not the complete circle it goes in, but when it is moving in a vertical circular motion. तो यहाँ इस पोजीशन पे अगर हम इसका फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम बनाते हैं, so it has its weight mg acting downward, this is tension, and if I take the component of weight, then the component which is opposite to the direction of t is mg cos theta, and the one which is providing the tangential acceleration is mg sin theta. Okay, so you can see that जो radial direction है, because this is the center of the circle, radial direction में the force which is acting towards the center is T, not acting or acting opposite is mg cos theta. That means the effective force acting is T minus mg cos theta, and it will behave as the centripetal force because it is acting along the radial direction. And if you look at mg sin theta, it is acting along the tangent to the circle, so this is tangential force. So if we write down the equation for the tangential force, mg sin theta will be equal to mat. So tangential acceleration वाला जो formula है, जो option है, उसके according it has to be g cos theta, but doesn't look like that. The answer is g sin theta. That means option C is not correct. Tension is not equal to mg cos theta. इस tension को mg cos theta से equate नहीं कर सकते दोस्तों. क्यों नहीं कर सकते? Because the body is moving in a circular path. तो T has to be greater than mg cos theta to provide the centripetal force. तो ये वाला ऑप्शन भी करेक्ट नहीं हो सकता है. Okay, so when we look at say option A, it says T cos theta equal to mg, but that also is not going to happen if you will balance out or do the resolution of tension force. But when you will write the equation of centripetal force, you can see that towards the center it is tension, away from the center is mg cos theta, and it should behave like mv square by r. So that's why the correct answer to this one is option B. Great. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Now this question says, guys, this is a 2018 JEE question for all of you. Now this question says कि एक सिल्वर एटम है और वो अपने लैटिस स्टेट में ऑसिलेट कर रहा है. एटम्स ऑसिलेट एट देयर मॉलिक्यूलर स्टेट. सो क्वेश्चन सेज दैट व्हेन द एटम इज ऑसिलेटिंग, इट इज ऑसिलेटिंग विद अ फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ 10 to the power 12 पर सेकेंड्स. एंड हमें पता लगाना है कि उस ऑसिलेशन को अगर तुम स्प्रिंग मास सिस्टम के ऑसिलेशन से कंपेयर करोगे तो उसका फोर्स कांस्टेंट कितना आना चाहिए उस स्प्रिंग का. What is given is the atomic molecular weight of the molecular weight of the silver, and we all know the value of Avogadro's number. Okay, you know that the time period formula in general for a spring mass system is 2 pi under root of m by k. तो हमें k पता लगाना है. So let me just rearrange it. k को मैं left side लेके आता हूँ, t को right side लेके आता हूँ. After squaring it, I will have k as 4 pi square, इसका square हो जाएगा, इसका स्क्वायर होगा, रूट से बाहर आके m हो जाएगा, एंड यू विल हैव t का स्क्वायर कमिंग इन द डिनोमिनेटर. ओके गाइस, 1/t is written as frequency, so we can write it as 4 pi square m into f square, where f is the frequency. So now we have all the values with us. 4 pi square is roughly 10. Mass can be found by the molecular weight as well as the Avogadro's number, which is going to be m by capital M equal to n by Na. The mole concept. n का वैल्यू 1 दिया हुआ है, तो इसे ऑलरेडी 1 लिख लेते हैं, बिकॉज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ए सिल्वर एटम. देयर इज ओनली 1 सिल्वर एटम. तो इस m को वहां ले जाओ. द वैल्यू फॉर स्मॉल m विल बी कैपिटल M by Na. सो कैपिटल M इज 108, बट इट इज इन ग्राम्स यूजुअली, तो उसे कन्वर्ट कर दो kgs में, एंड यू हैव फ्रीक्वेंसी उसका स्क्वायर, सो दैट विल बी 10 to the power 24 and divided by the value of Avogadro's number, that is 6.02 into 10 to the power 23 guys. Okay, so when you will simplify this, you can see that ये वाला फैक्टर कैंसिल होकर के यहाँ पे सिर्फ 10 बचेगा, 10 to the power -2. 6 जब इससे कैंसिल करोगे तो you will have 18 multiplied with this, you will have 720 into 10 to the power -2 or 7.2 Newton per meter. So looks like the nearest option is option A. Okay, interestingly came in JEE 2018. Okay, so moving on to another question which looks like one of the questions that we just now solved, but इस question को ज़रा ध्यान से देखना. Question थोड़ा सा different है. अभी जो हमने इससे पहले situation देखी थी guys, उससे ये question थोड़ा different है. Okay, are you all with me already? If you guys are still here and still awake and enjoying this session, once again just write down yes or yo in the chat box. It's been a long session, I know that. We will have few more questions and then we'll be done for SHM as well. But as I said, we have a lot of questions coming from this chapter. Yes guys, I also need that energy. Great guys, great. Still excited, awesome. That's what I wanted to listen to or read over there. Okay, I hope that all of you are excited, equally excited as me. Okay, so let's go to the question जो इसी साल आया था. And this question says that again you have a spring connected to a block. So initially, now pay attention guys, okay? We'll do yo-yo again at the end. Let's pay attention one more time. So you have this block which is connected to a spring. Initially no force was acting. It was in equilibrium as always. But then the question says, once you start applying this force, which is a constant force, एक constant force तुम उसके ऊपर apply करना शुरू कर देते हो. So the moment you start applying the force on it, the block which was initially at rest is now the block is being pulled by the constant force. We have to find out the maximum speed of this block. That means what? जब तुम इस फोर्स से ब्लॉक को पुल करना शुरू करोगे, स्प्रिंग विच वॉज इनिशियली इन द नेचुरल स्टेट विल नाउ स्टार्ट गेटिंग इलोंगेटेड. दैट मीन्स व्हाट? इस फोर्स को एट t इक्वल टू 0 तो कोई अपोजिशन नहीं मिलेगा, बट जैसे जैसे वो ब्लॉक को पुल करता जाएगा, स्प्रिंग में भी एक्सटेंशन आएगा एंड इट्स फोर्स विल स्टार्ट बिकमिंग स्ट्रॉन्गर एंड स्ट्रॉन्गर एंड स्ट्रॉन्गर. दैट मीन्स व्हाट? अगर मान लेते हैं कि यहां कहीं पे पहले ब्लॉक इक्विलिब्रियम में था, कब? जब ये फोर्स नहीं लगाया था. अब जब ये फोर्स लगाने लगोगे तो इक्विलिब्रियम शिफ्ट होने वाला है बिकॉज ऑफ द फोर्स बीइंग अप्लाइड देयर. तो एडिशनल फोर्स, सो न्यू इक्विलिब्रियम विल कम. बट व्हेनेवर दैट इक्विलिब्रियम विल कम, say this is that position when this capital F force is being balanced by the spring force. That means Kx. And we know that during the oscillations, the position where the net force acting on the moving body becomes 0, we call that position as the mean position. Yes guys? So if that is the mean position, we should know that the velocity will achieve its maximum value or speed will achieve its maximum value. तो हमें ये बस पता लगाना है कि मैक्सिमम स्पीड का वैल्यू कितना होने वाला है. तो मान लेते हैं कि व्हेन मूविंग फ्रॉम इनिशियल रेस्ट पोजीशन टू दिस वन, द ब्लॉक हैज एक्सटेंडेड द स्प्रिंग बाय एन अमाउंट x. ओके, दैट मीन्स जो भी फोर्स अब हमने एक्सटर्नली लगाया है वो स्प्रिंग फोर्स से बैलेंस हुआ एट मीन पोजीशन एंड दैट फोर्स इज गोइंग टू बी इक्वल टू kx. ओके, That means what? The amount of extension in the spring at the mean position, guys, is going to become F by K. Okay? तो जितना भी elongation हुआ है mean position पे वो हमने find out कर लिया. Next what I'm going to do, I'm going to find out the velocity which is at the mean position maximum. So whatever is the work which is being done by the spring force and the work which is done by this external force, that work done by both the forces should be equal to the change in kinetic energy. That means the work energy theorem. So as you can see, जो force externally लगा है capital F, it is acting on the right side. The displacement of the body is on the right side. That means the work done is positive. So work done by external force is F into X, positive. But block is moving to the right side, spring force is acting to the left side. So you can see that the angle between the force and the displacement is 180 degree. That means negative work. So minus of the spring force work, which will be equal to effectively half k x square. उतना ही spring में potential energy store होने वाली है. So this is the work done by the spring force, which is a variable force. And this overall work done should be equal to the change in kinetic energy. So final kinetic energy is half mv square, which is v max by the way. And initially it was 0. The block was initially at rest. Now what I'm going to do, क्योंकि options, if you will see here, none of the options I have any extension x given in it. तो मुझे क्या करना होगा, x को f by k के टर्म्स में यहाँ रिप्लेस करना है और सिंप्लीफाई करना है. So I do that. So x is written as f by k. This is half k f square by k square equal to half mv square, guys. Okay. So you can see that एक k यहाँ cancel हो जाता है. This is f square by a. This is f square by 2k. That means जब इन दोनों को solve करोगे, so you will have f square by 2k, which is equal to half mv square. So 2 gets cancelled. Solving for v square, you have f square by mk, and solving for under root, you will get the answer as f upon under root mk. That means your answer will be option C. Yes, Anshaj, I think you were right. Yes, Astha, answer is option C. We have got the answer here as f divided by under root mk. Okay, so this was 2019, guys. Next is the question which is much more simpler and still from JEE 2019, and I want a quick answer on this one. This question. Again a question from this year's JEE. Read the question. Question में simply पूछा है कि एक object oscillate कर रहा है. Mean position is at x equal to 0 plus a minus a. तो क्वेश्चन ने पूछा है at what position from the mean position से कितनी दूरी पे जाके काइनेटिक एनर्जी एंड पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इक्वल हो जाती है. आई थिंक बहुत से लोगों को ये बाय हार्टेड होगा ऑलरेडी, और ये होना भी चाहिए. सो इन नेक्स्ट 5 सेकेंड आई वॉन्ट आंसर्स इन द चैट बॉक्स. टेल मी विच ऑप्शन यू थिंक शुड बी राइट. Yes, as I can see that most of you know this and you should know this, and more than that what you should be happy about, look at the year this question has come in. So recently JEE में SHM के questions और easy हो गए हैं दोस्तों. In fact straight forward जो हम theory में पढ़ रहे होते हैं, that is basically coming in options. That's basically a good news. So not only Mogambo should be happy, you all should be happy. Okay, and I'm sure you all are. Okay, for those who still want the explanation, the potential energy has to be equal to the kinetic energy. Potential energy for a spring block system is say half kx square, and kinetic energy is half mv square, but v can be written as omega under root of a square minus x square. Okay, so putting it here, I will have omega square a square minus x square, but we know that this m omega square is nothing but k. So this m omega square gets cancelled with k, 2 gets cancelled with 2, so I have x square equal to a square minus x square, which tells me 2x square is equal to a square and x is equal to plus minus a by root 2. प्लस माइनस a by root 2 का मतलब बस ये है कि मेन पोजीशन से mean position से this side a by root 2 which is minus a by root 2 and this side a by root 2 which is plus a by root 2 दोनों पे पोटेंशियल और काइनेटिक एनर्जी का वैल्यू इक्वल आने वाला है. ओके गाइस, क्या साहिल, इट्स वेरी सिंपल एक्सप्लेनेशन. पोटेंशियल एनर्जी और काइनेटिक एनर्जी को इक्वल करना है. पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का फॉर्मूला हाफ के एक्स स्क्वायर, काइनेटिक एनर्जी का फॉर्मूला हाफ एम वी स्क्वायर होता है. तो ये जो लिखा है ना बेटा, दिस इज दिस वेलोसिटी का स्क्वायर और v का फॉर्मूला ओमेगा अंडर रूट ऑफ ए स्क्वायर माइनस एक्स स्क्वायर होता है. तो इसी को मैंने पुट किया उस फॉर्मूले में. सो ओमेगा स्क्वायर ए स्क्वायर माइनस एक्स स्क्वायर, आफ्टर दैट जस्ट सिंप्लीफिकेशन, k and m omega square are equal. Why? Because omega is under root of k by m. तो इसको सिंप्लीफाई करो, m उधर आएगा, m omega square is equal to k. Yeah? So this is what the correct answer is. Well guys, as always, for you guys to try, and then after getting the answer, I want all of you, for this question, I want all of you to write the answer of this one as an option in the comment box whenever you are able to solve it. So for that, just take a screenshot. Today I'm standing here, so maybe in the screenshot I'll also be there. Okay? एक बार question explain कर देता हूँ. You have this point mass m which is in the center of this random connection which is given. All the three springs have same spring constant, that is k. Okay, you can see it here. And what you do after that, this angle is 90 degree. You push m very slightly downward, not by a very big amount. Very slightly you push it downward and release it. So the mass starts to oscillate. So when it starts to oscillate, you have to find out what will be the time period of oscillation of this mass. Okay guys, so I hope that all of you have taken the screenshot. Okay. Yeah. So guys, as I always say, JEE Sprint is happening. We are covering all the easy kill topics here, and as many sessions we are planning, we are able to conduct that, and we'll be coming up with all and more interesting questions in all the sessions. But अगर आपको और भी topics cover करने हैं, if you want to prepare more of the topics which are not in the JEE Sprint, because JEE Sprint is all about the easy kill topics. It's basically about scoring in every subject more than 10 questions correctly very easily. So that is the objective of JEE Sprint, the selection insurance. But if you want to cover further more chapters, then you can go to our app, that is Vedantu's app, and you can go for any of the crash courses which are there. Details are already here. I'm again telling you, this is something which is optional. JEE Sprint is something which is free of cost. So this is where you may have some amount to be paid. You can use some code which is written over there if you are interested. Okay guys, so कोई tension नहीं है. This is not compulsory. JEE Sprint is compulsory and you all have to attend that. Okay, so guys, yes, mechanics sprint will be taken by Anand sir. Okay, so if you guys are enjoying the session so far, अगर मज़ा आ रहा है, confidence अगर boost हो रहा है, अगर समझ में आ रहा है, तो guys, this is the place, this is the channel to stick to. Every day we come up with physics, chemistry and math session where we are discussing all the easy kill topics, all the important questions, especially the questions which have come in previous year JEE. Okay, so stay tuned to the channel. We'll be back again on Monday with the session, starting with Pahul sir ka jo session hai chemistry pe. He'll be coming up with that. So till then, if your friends do not know, tell them to like it, tell them to subscribe it, and you guys have to subscribe as well. Share it with your friends. Okay guys, and what, I'll be seeing you guys again in the next week. Next is the session of waves and I'll be teaching that on Tuesday. So abhi se reminder laga ke rakh lena. I'll be meeting you guys again on Tuesday with the next chapter which is in the correlation with SHM, that is waves. Okay, so stay tuned. Till then, enjoy your weekend, have fun, enjoy. Bye bye.